at Carolina Raptor Center. I am the wildlife educator, and so it is my job to take my team of birds to different schools and community events, but it's also my job to make sure that every bird on my team is healthy, both physically and mentally. So I take my birds for different walks and take them to do different meet and greets with the public, but we also give our birds enrichment. Enrichment is super important to any animal in human care. It keeps these guys stimulated and always learning something new. So there are different types of enrichment that we give our birds, and all of our enrichment really focuses on behaviors that they would do out in the wild. So different types of enrichment that we do here is taking our birds for walks. Putting them in different environments is really good for them because they look around, they see new birds flying around out in the wild, they see new sticks. Sticks don't always seem interesting to us, but to our birds, it's pretty fascinating. We also will give these guys things to shred. We have a great horned owl that loves to shred heads of lettuce. We put in a head of lettuce, and an hour or two later we check back in on him and he has a full-blown salad all over his enclosure. We thank our amazing volunteers, our aviary caretakers, that help us clean up the messes that our birds make with different types of enrichment. So we also give these guys different paper products to shred. We'll give these guys different feeders. So sometimes we put food in dog kongs and we have them fish out the food. That way they have to work for their food a little bit if we aren't taking them out and about to meet different visitors in the public. We will also give our birds foraging boxes. So they have to try and figure out how to take out different worms, different pieces of meat. Foraging boxes are something as simple as putting newspaper in a box and shoving the food in between the newspaper items. Out in the wild, birds have to work in order to get their food, and they have to figure out how to get it. Sometimes a rat runs under a log or a rock, and raptors have to work and figure out how to get that rat. So we want to be able to encourage these guys to do as many natural behaviors as possible. And you guys out there in the cyber world are actually able to help us do that by making enrichment at home with common products that you guys can have in your very own households, and then bringing those enrichment items to us. All right, so we have chosen one of our birds' favorite enrichment items for you guys to do at home. We provided all of the materials in your adventure box, so all you have to do is check out our instruction manual. And this is one of our favorite enrichment items because it is super easy. All you need are construction paper, scissors, and non-toxic glue. This is really important to use the kid-friendly glue. If it's kid-friendly, it's usually bird-friendly as well. So we are going to make a paper chain together. And the first step is to pick out your favorite color of construction paper. Mine happens to be red. And what we're gonna do is we are going to use our scissors to cut strips out of our construction paper. We do want to try to make the strips as evenly sized as possible. But don't worry, the birds don't judge you if you can't cut in a straight line, because I sure can't. So we're gonna do that all the way down the pieces of construction paper. Once all of your construction paper is cut up into strips, you are gonna pick one to start off with, and I'm gonna pick a red one. And we are going to put glue, again, the kid-friendly glue, on one end of the strip. And then we are going to fold and make a ring. You can make the rings as big or small as you would like. So this one, I made a pretty big ring, but We also have small rings. So as big or small as you would like. We have big birds and we have little birds. So we use all sorts of different sizes for the rings. Once you have your first string made, you're gonna pick another color or the same color, doesn't really matter. And you are gonna loop it in between that red loop. And you are gonna do the same thing. You're going to put glue on one end of that new color strip. And then you are gonna create a ring using that color. Fun fact about raptors, they can actually see in the full color spectrum. Some of our black vultures are actually learning colors. So they know red, green, and blue, and they walk to the disc whenever I ask them to go to certain colors. So we are gonna keep doing this process of making loops and rings of all different colors until you get the length that you want. We can make them as long as short as you want. We have some really long ones that are fun to string about the perching, or you can do shorter ones that are also fun to rip up. So it's completely up to you on the colors you want to do, the size of the circles, and the length of the chains. You may be wondering, what natural behavior are we trying to encourage by giving our birds these paper chains? Well, when we put these paper chains on our birds' perches, they tend to manipulate it. They'll either shred it up or they will just lift it up and drop it on the ground. Either way, that's what they would do out in the wild as well. When these guys are on their perches and there's a leaf or a branch that they don't want on their very specific perch, they're going to try and rip the leaves off of that perch. And so that's what we're trying to simulate here, is give them something to manipulate off of their favorite perches. Thank you so much for joining us here today and helping us create enrichment for our birds. If you thought that was fun, there's even more enrichment items that you can make at home. Just go to our website and find our enrichment page, and you can make all sorts of different types of enrichment. We have different tissue flowers, and you can use paper towel rolls and toilet paper rolls and make all sorts of fun and unique enrichment items for our birds.